Long Way Down is a work written by the British writer Nick Hornby. He was born at the end of the 50s, he has a degree in English literature, and before becoming a writer, he works as a teacher and as a journalist. He is well known for his works such as Fever Pitch, High Fidelity, About a Boy, which date back to the 90s, whereas in the new millennium he publishes novels such as A Long Way Down, How to Be Good, and Slam. All his works share the ironic and sharp style typical of the author and his desire to provide a social framework of the United Kingdom. A Long Way Down tells the story of four strangers who meet on New Year's Eve on the roof of Topper's house, a building known for suicide attempts, because they want to jump off. Each character has their reasons. Martin is an ex-TV presenter who has lost everything, his job, his family, his future, all for a fling with a 15-year-old girl. Maureen is a middle-aged woman with a severely disabled son. Jess is a messed up and unmanageable girl, and she wants to jump off because Chaz, her boyfriend, dumped her. The last character showing up is JJ, ex-frontman of a band, dumped by his girlfriend, the only reason he came in London from the USA. They accidentally meet. Martin is drunk when he arrives at the roof, and while having his legs dangling off the roof, he notices a woman in line waiting for him to jump off. On the contrary, Maureen had planned her suicide well in advance. She invented excuses and left her son in a care home for the night. The embarrassment between them hinders the courage which had pushed them there. Meanwhile, Jess arrives running towards the ledge. Fortunately, the two of them manage to stop her. Afterwards, it is JJ to come after his pizza delivery shift. No one expects to find other people up there. The situation is so unusual that it seems that no one wants to jump off anymore, but they cannot go back to their lives either. Apparently, no character wants the others to commit suicide, so they decide to come up with a deal. They would have waited at least until Valentine's Day, the second most popular day for suicide. During this time, the characters have the opportunity to better know and find out the deepest reasons for which they would have jumped. To comfort Maureen, JJ suggests a holiday altogether. Obviously, traveling with semi-strangers turns out to be problematic, and the characters discover truths about the others that help them solve their problems. As promised, after the holiday, the four characters meet on Valentine's Day at the Topper's house to decide what to do. Despite some problems are not resolvable, they decide not to jump off for the moment. However, right where they were standing on New Year's Eve, a man jumps off. The scene they witness made them figure out that they have never been ready to suicide. They agree to extend their deal to 90 days, during which each of them makes progress and elaborates their situation. Moreover, thanks to a gathering planned by Jess, the characters face their loved ones in search of help. The support from friends and family is essential to make the characters understand that they are not alone, and they can be helped move on. After 90 days, the meeting is always at the Topper's house. The suicide jumpers don't want to split up. They know they can find the needed support in the others, and ironically, they decide to take other 6 months to see their improvements. The movie strays from the book, and this is the reason why it was not positively criticized. First, concerning the style, the book is structured in 3 parts of the same length, which correspond to the evolving of characters' thought. This choice was not reported in the movie, but most of all, the movie does not recreate the diary effect of the book. In fact, the book presents an alternate storytelling. By rotation, each character takes the floor and the point of view, fundamental elements to give their involvement in the situation. Probably, it is more difficult to convey these features of the writing in a film adaptation, but also the plot is modified. Roughly from the half of the story, in particular after the holiday, the movie differs from the book. There is no fifth suicide jumper, there is no family reunion planned by Jess, and the ending as well does not follow the original story. In fact, it suggests a love story between Jess and JJ, among the other things. The themes analyzed by the author are basically delicate, but thanks to his irony, Hornby succeeded in making them accessible, joking about it, and finding solutions. Each character longs for suicide for different reasons. Martin is afraid to have made two big mistakes and that it will take too long to get his life back. Maureen is forced to live with an awful situation all alone. Then we found out that the disappearing of Jess's sister upset Jess and her family, and since that moment things got worse. JJ does not accept to give up his past, his band and his girlfriend. These are all common problems nowadays. Wherever possible, the novelist suggests solutions and manners to live with it, resulting funny and never boring, even though the topic of death is always present. Another main theme is the team. Four strangers become more and more connected by supporting even if they don't always like each other. The stakes are too high. It is the other's life. The book and the movie analyze the help a group can give in a slight different manner. The first constantly reminds us how much the characters are different, incompatible, but connected by a common experience, while in the second they accept more easily the mutual company. The movie considers more the decisions made by the group than the individual development, which is dominant in the second part of the book, the one not mentioned in the movie. I discovered the movie a long way down some years ago, and after watching it I took interest in the book to make a comparison. I must confess that by comparing the two versions, it seems that they are different stories. Surely, the writing style of the author is one of the most challenging aspects to report on the big screen, but I'm afraid that in this case the experiment failed. Meaning that in the movie, the theme of suicide is mentioned, a hint during the character's life, which, although, is a good solution to the initial decision of committing suicide. Overall, the movie can be appreciated as a light and pleasant comedy, but it strays from Hornby's work. On the contrary, I found the book not so fluid. Probably the alternating of characters, even each 1 or 2 pages, can interrupt the analysis the reader is doing of the character. Furthermore, since the work is a sort of diary shared between the characters and they are really different one from the other, the difference of register and writing style is exasperated to make the characters more various and realistic. This slows down the reader, who every time the point of view changes has to get into the character and in the story.